Okay, let's unpack this. You know that feeling, that flicker when you really want to connect with someone in English?
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe just for a quick hello or like
Yeah.
grabbing a coffee, asking directions.
Yeah.
But then you just kind of freeze up,
Yeah.
not quite sure how to uh, bridge that gap between the words you know and actually, using them.
That is such a relatable feeling. It's the hurdle, isn't it, for everyone starting out or even trying to get to that next level. You've
Definitely.
got the pieces, but putting them together like under pressure, it feels impossible sometimes.
Exactly. And that's precisely why this deep dive, we're focusing on a really insightful source today.
Okay.
It's not some dry textbook. It's basically a live conversation,
Yeah.
a practical masterclass. You got a host, Emma, and her student Leo,
Right.
and they're just focusing purely on navigating those common everyday situations using really simple English.
What's fascinating there, I think, is that the source isn't just like listing phrases, it
Yeah.
shows a whole strategy. It really makes this powerful case that the key to confidence, to fluency, initially anyway, it isn't about super complex grammar or, a massive vocabulary.
Right.
It's about mastering these, well, they seem small, these fundamental interactions. They're the essential building blocks you just keep coming back to.
So our mission here is to take this really practical conversation and just pull out those strategic nuggets. We want to give you that toolkit,
Uh-huh.
those core patterns that can make navigating everyday life in English feel, well, less daunting, more achievable. We're going to look at how they break it down, how they get started.
Think of it like understanding the basic architecture of everyday English chat,
Uh-huh.
as shown through this specific practice session. It's kind of a shortcut to actually applying what you learn.
Perfect. So where does a practical guide like this conversation even begin? Where do they kick off?
Well, logically, right at the absolute start line, greetings and introductions.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the source doesn't waste any time. It highlights the simplicity, but also the necessity of phrases like hello or just hi.
Right. So simple. They point out how these are maybe the most natural starting points.
Yeah.
And they show you right away how it works with a little role play.
Mm-hmm.
Emma asks, "Hi, Leo. How are you?" And Leo comes back with, "Hi, Emma. I'm good, thank you. And you?" And then that classic follow-up, "I'm doing great, thanks for asking."
It's that fundamental loop, isn't it? The question and answer thing that drives so many basic interactions.
Totally.
And then they shift to meeting someone new, introducing that, well, indispensable phrase, nice to meet you.
Which they demo again with another quick back and forth. "Hi, I'm Emma. Hi, Emma. I'm Leo. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too."
Yeah,
It sounds obvious maybe, but practicing that simple exchange, that volley, is so key.
exactly. And the source is smart. It includes alternatives too, like pleased to meet you or it's a pleasure,
Ah, okay.
which kind of raises that important question. Why start here? Why are these seemingly simple things so crucial?
Yeah, why?
Because they're not just, polite noises. They are the social key. They instantly
Right.
lower anxiety because you have a known script.
Right. Takes the pressure off.
Sets a positive tone, signals you're open to interacting. They're basically the essential on-ramp to any conversation you're going to have.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's about getting comfortable with just the act of speaking to someone else. Okay, so you've cleared the greeting hurdle. Where does the conversation guide you next?
It gently eases you into the world of small talk.
Ah, small talk.
Yeah, and the source defines it really well. Just short, friendly chat on easy topics. The purpose isn't deep information, it's connection.
And the source makes this great point about English speakers and how much we seem to talk about the weather.
Ha, yes. It's that universal low-stakes topic, isn't it?
Totally safe ground.
Exactly. Talking about the weather gives you an easy way to practice, intonation, simple sentences, just the rhythm of a conversation without needing complicated words.
Yeah.
The example dialogue is classic. Beautiful day, isn't it? Followed by, yes, very sunny. I like the sun. And then just simple responses, agreeing or sharing a feeling.
It's such a brilliant, like, low-pressure way to just start using your English speaking muscles, right?
Absolutely.
They also cover talking about your day. The example, "How was your day?" And the student's simple answer, "It was good. Went to work and had coffee."
Mm-hmm.
And the host just gives that simple positive reaction, "Sounds like a nice day."
Mm. And this really highlights a key insight from the source, I think. Finding these simple, predictable situations to just start talking.
Mhm.
People often underestimate the social function of small talk in language learning. It builds rapport, creates a shared moment,
Yeah.
and it prepares everyone for maybe deeper conversation later,
Yeah.
all while using basic, repetitive language patterns, perfect for practice.
Right. Okay, so building on those foundations greetings, small talk, the source, then gets really practical, doesn't it?
Yes.
Moving into how you apply these basic structures in
Yeah.
specific, common situations you actually face every day.
This section is really where the source delivers that real-world application layer. They walk Leo through scenarios like um, being at a coffee shop,
Okay.
shopping, asking for directions, ordering in a restaurant, even basic stuff at a doctor's office or the airport.
Let's maybe pick a couple just to see the patterns they're emphasizing.
Yeah.
So, coffee shop, the interaction is boiled right down, isn't it?
Absolutely essential. What can I get for you? I want a small coffee, please.
Simple.
Anything else?
Yeah, yeah.
One muffin, please. And they do note alternatives like, can I have or I'll take.
Right. Slightly more polite, maybe, but the same core structure.
Exactly the same structure. And that's crucial. It shows how a basic pattern like, I want X or can I have X is just reusable everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the shopping scenario, it starts with, can I help you? And introduces that super versatile phrase, yes, I'm looking for a shirt.
Ah, yeah, I'm looking for it. That's a good one.
So useful. Then it goes into specifics like color, size, ending with, here you go.
Yeah.
They also cover, can I try it on?
Oh,
And the response, the fitting room is over there.
I'm looking for, you
Yeah.
could use that for almost anything you're searching for, not just shirts. So versatile.
Totally. Then asking for directions, another classic. Excuse me, where's the bank?
Uh-huh.
It's on Main Street next to the pharmacy. Is it far? No, just a 5-minute walk. And they list related phrases too, like how do I get to an Andorra La Sauce, or is there a supermarket near here?
With variations.
And the student throws in a really smart practical tip. Can you show me on the map?
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, that avoids so much potential confusion. Great example of using simple language functionally.
Isn't it just? Then the restaurant. They cover ordering. Are you ready to order? Yes. I'll have the chicken salad, please.
It's dinner stuff?
Anything to drink? A glass of water, please? And that equally vital skill, asking for the bill. Excuse me, can I have the check?
Can't leave without that one.
Nope. They
Can't
mentioned, can I get the check? And can I see the menu as well? All very common.
Again, those reusable patterns pop up. I'll have X, can I have Y?
Exactly. And even in like more sensitive situations, say the doctor's office, the source still focuses on simple descriptions.
Okay.
What's the problem? I have a headache and a sore throat. And they note other useful phrases like, I feel dizzy or I have a cough. It's about getting the essential info across directly.
Makes sense. Keep it simple when you're not feeling well.
Precisely.
And they touch on meeting new people too, right? Bringing it back to those basic questions.
They do. Back to where are you from and what do you do? Framing it simply as, a way to connect, maybe make friends.
Yeah.
The airport and phone call examples are also stripped down to those core functions, showing your passport, asking for someone on the phone, basic stuff.
So if we kind of connect this back to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the strategy seems to be find the common situation, figure out the core task.
Yeah, like ordering, finding something, describing.
Right. And then learn the simplest, most direct language pattern to get that task done.
Exactly. Learning can I have is way more powerful than just memorizing one specific coffee order dialogue.
Yes. It's about building that versatility, isn't it? Even with a limited toolkit at the start.
Mm-hmm.
But the source doesn't just stop at what to say. It moves into the really critical how-to part, the tips for actually practicing, and maybe just as important, the mindset.
Yes, this is where the source gives you the roadmap for actually doing it. The student in that conversation really emphasizes the power of daily practice.
Even just a little bit, right?
Even just 15 minutes, they say, of speaking or listening. Consistency seems to be the absolute key.
And the source boils this down into 5 quick, really actionable tips for beginners. First one, practice speaking every day,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just talking to yourself.
Sounds silly, but it works.
Second, use English in real life whenever you possibly can. Order your coffee, write a simple text message.
Get it out there. Third, repeat and review often. They really hammer home that repetition helps things stick in your memory. Spaced repetition.
Right, that's fundamental. Fourth, record yourself speaking and listen back.
Ooh, the tough one.
Yeah, that one could be uncomfortable. But it gives you such valuable feedback you just can't get any other way. Seeing or hearing where you can improve pronunciation or flow.
Invaluable, even if you cringe listening to yourself. And the fifth tip, Immerse yourself. Watch, listen, read in English.
Yeah.
They even suggest things like, kids' shows are perfectly fine and actually really helpful. Simple language, clear context.
Good point. And the conversation also tackles that big elephant in the room for so many learners. Confidence, shyness.
Yes, they address it head on. They talk openly about how the student felt nervous at first,
Uh-huh.
but built confidence just through doing it, through practice.
Mm-hmm.
And the host shares a relatable bit about making mistakes learning French.
Which highlights another vital insight from this source, I think. You have to make mistakes.
Absolutely.
It's necessary to actually learn and get better. They push that mindset of focusing on progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection. Love
Yeah.
that.
And acknowledging that every small step counts. It's about having courage more than being correct, especially at the beginning.
And what's really interesting here is how the source shifts, doesn't it? It goes from giving you the content, the praises, to giving you the methodology,
Yeah.
the how-to for actually acquiring and using that content effectively and, importantly, confidently. These tips aren't just generic advice. They feel like the practical steps you need to apply those simple phrases and start building some momentum.
It really does feel like a complete, though simple system. A way to get off the ground and build that crucial early confidence in speaking.
Definitely.
So we've covered those essential starting points like greetings, eased into low-stakes small talk, equipped you with core phrases for common situations by showing those reusable patterns, and then looked at the practical strategy, consistent practice, overcoming shyness.
The clear value, I think, that you can extract from this source is that fluency really starts with courage and just consistently applying the basics. It's a simple, direct guide to building real-world conversation skills from the ground up.
Yeah. And the conversation even wraps up with a quick practice loop, doesn't it? Asking those basic questions, get name, origin, job, preferences,
Yeah, pulling it all together.
pulling together those simple question and answer patterns from the different sections into one kind of fluid exchange at the end.
It brings it all back to that core theme. Start simple, practice the patterns you learn, and just use what you know. Don't wait.
Which really leads us to the core takeaway this source offers you, listening right now. That path to feeling comfortable, feeling confident in daily English conversation. It's not some big mystery.
No.
It's built on mastering simple interactions, practicing them consistently, and crucially, having the courage to just speak up, knowing that mistakes, they're just part of the journey.
And if embracing that simple daily practice and having the courage to just step forward, if those are truly the keys, like this source suggests, here's a thought.
Okay.
What is one single small conversation or interaction? Something you could seek out or maybe even create today using just one or two of the basic phrases we've talked about.
That's a great challenge. Something to definitely mull over. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the power of simple English conversation.
It was a real pleasure exploring this very practical, strategic approach to building confidence with you.